explicitly do it. I think it was the best thing for our family. Like I said earlier, you can just sign up for something for one season, and if you hate it, like, you never have to do it again. I don't think that you will. I think that there's so many amazing, like, experiences to be had and just, like, life lessons. I think it really bonds you and your husband together. I think it really bonds, like, you and your kids as just this family unit together. I feel like we're gonna have these memories forever, and the kids are gonna look back and talk on, like, all the places that they saw and all the experiences that they had and have just, like, the most magical version of their childhood.
You're listening to Breaking the Ice podcast, a podcast that I created in 2020 to connect women within the hockey world. My name's Devin Dodaro, my husband's Charlie Dodaro, and we've played literally all over the world. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs, and let's just say hockey has taken my world by storm. What I've learned is that this community and these experiences are very specific, and you should not have to go through this alone. Through this podcast, I share the tools, resources, do's, don'ts, and what's helped me along the way while continuing to learn from each and every one of you. So lace them up and tune in for episodes twice a month. And make sure to follow the page on Instagram at Breaking the Ice Pod. Hello, happy July. How are we here? How are we in July? I think this is how I just start off every podcast episode. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Hope everybody's enjoying their off season. We did two trips in June, which I feel like is the reason why I feel like the summer's flying by, because we basically weren't here for June. And then now it's July, and yeah, I shared on Instagram the other day, I am still like disassociating. I will say, being back in North America, it is nice that I am not thinking about having to go abroad in this given moment, because for the last however many summers, 7 summers that we went abroad, this is the time that I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get all the things that I needed for myself, for my kids, to just get settled, on top of like packing, figuring out and making sure the flights are good, the dogs are good. We rented our house out for every time that we went abroad, so we would have to like get all of our crap into our storage unit, our closets, and deep breaths. I have been where you are if you're listening and you are going abroad, whether it's for the first time or the 10th time or the 5th time, wherever you're at, it is a lot. So don't sell yourself short. You are not crazy if you're having a mental breakdown right now. Moving away, step aside from the logistics of having to get everything together. The emotional toll it takes sometimes on leaving to go somewhere can be a lot. You're saying bye to your friends and family for 8 months and to the place that you call home. So you are normal if you are having a hard time coping with this, or you're feeling like super emotional. I personally always felt very, very emotional every time I went abroad. Like, hanging out with my friends, like, afterwards would just like be a letdown, because I would feel sad that I had to leave them, kind of thing. So anyways, this is a perfect time for this episode to come out. I recorded this with Rachael Czarnik. She was so amazing to talk to, just such an open book. Her and her family have been going abroad for the last 2 hockey seasons, now going into their 3rd season in Switzerland, and they absolutely love living over there. But as you know, there are also a lot of emotions that come with that. So we get into all of the things. We get into culture shock, what to pack when moving abroad, how living abroad creates resiliency in your children. She also had her 3rd baby abroad in Switzerland after having the first 2 in North America. So she shares about that experience. And she also shares about her grief journey. She lost her mom when her oldest child was about 6 months old, and her husband had to leave for the hockey season, and that was just a very difficult time. And so she shares, if you are going through something similar, just some advice. And I just appreciate her so much for opening up and sharing about all of these things. It's just such a wonderful episode and very free flowing and easy. And it's one of those episodes I could also listen to for just another hour. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you for being here and enjoy the last few months of summer. If you're in North America and if you're going to Europe soon, safe travels, Godspeed. You got this. You can do it. You can do hard things. Literally right before I came to record my intro and do the final things for this podcast, my Nuuly Order showed up right on time at my door. I have been doing this specifically through the summer. I tried it out last season, but I just feel like I was kind of like a hermit crab with my kids being sick, so I didn't do too much throughout the season. So I put it on pause, which you can do, and then I reactivated it for the summer because we've had weddings, social events, birthdays that are themed that I don't really want to buy stuff for because I probably won't wear it again. So renting is like my new thing, especially in the summer months when you just have so much going on. Or even if you're just looking to kind of spice up your wardrobe a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I get a little bit bored with my stuff, and I'm also very indecisive when it comes to buying new things. So if you are anything like me, then Nuuly is the place for you. They have an app. You log on to the app, you go through the brands, you go look what you're looking for. I literally sit there and I'm like, okay, what do I have this month? I have my friend's birthday party, which is leather themed, so I need to get something leather. I'm going on a little getaway to the mountains and I need some cute outfits. Whatever you have going on, and then I look specifically for things that will fit into that criteria. So if this sounds like something that you would like, I have a code for $30 off your first order, which is a freaking steal. So you can click the show notes, click my link, and get $30 off your order.
Welcome to Breaking the Ice. I'm so excited to talk to you. I can already tell this is just going to be a very fluid conversation. So I'm excited you're here and excited to get you to know you more.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited too. This is great.
Well, as you know, I usually start off the podcast just kind of asking for like a rundown on you, how you met your husband, and just kind of what your guys' life has looked like up into this point, and then we'll kind of unpack a lot of like the overseas stuff and all the things. So whenever you're ready, you can dive on in.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I was looking at the calendar. Austin and I, we've been together for now 10 years. We're going to be married 7 next week. I had to think about that. But yeah, we've been together for, I feel like forever since he got out of college and I was still in nursing school. So our journey kind of started long distance, but I was in nursing school finishing up and he was starting his first year pro. So he was up and down between Providence and Boston. And whenever I would get a free chance, I would head on out there. But it was pretty tough. I feel like just in the hospital setting and not having a ton of time for myself to kind of make that work. But yeah, we started out, we met actually at home. He was here for Christmas visiting his family, and I'm from Michigan too. So it was just kind of fate that we met and started long distance, but we did it. Here we are.
Yeah, look at where life has taken you.
Look at where we are. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, that's interesting about going to nursing school. You meet a pro hockey player. Where was your mind going at that point? Because obviously, like you're in a career where you know what you want, locked in and ready to start that part of your life. Like, where was your head at?
Totally. I mean, I definitely had no expectation of like, I feel like that time in my life was so busy already. I was like, I can't fit one more, like, I just can't fit anything else in my timeline. And so
Right.
for the one evening that I went out, like right before Christmas, when all of, like your friends come home from school and you're just
Yeah.
getting together, we met and then it was kind of history. So I feel like it was definitely not in the cards when I would go visit him. It was hard because I feel like I was like bringing 17 books with me and I was like on my laptop the entire time and he would just sit in bed and like take a nap and I would just be doing whatever. But yeah, I would go see him every chance I got. His first NHL game, I actually was on a clinical and I got in the car like right after at 4 p.m. and we drove to Columbus. We were lucky that it was just like 4 hours from us, but we stayed for the whole game, and then so we drove back so I could be at clinical at like 5:30 in the morning the next day. So it was definitely like I feel like he's always really supported me in like my career in nursing, but I feel like I always tried my best to, do the same for him.
And that's, I mean, he's gonna see you do that and be like, this is gonna be my wife because she just drove and then drove back and is up at 4 in the morning
Yes.
back to work.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you officially start doing nursing, or did you put that on pause to kind of go where he was at?
Yeah. So I finished school. We had probably done like 2 years of long distance. And when I finished school, I was kind of like at this point, like, what are we going to do? I actually graduated in December. So I had a couple months to like study, take my boards. So I got my license. And then that summer for free agency, that was his first time being a free agent. And so we were looking at all the places and weighing all the options. And we actually decided to sign in Calgary. And to my knowledge, it's not so easy for Americans to go over the border and work in Canada. So that kind of put me at a standstill, which it was pretty disappointing. And then COVID hit, and then we came home and I got pregnant and had my daughter. So I feel like that has still kind of been always in the back of my mind. Like I know that's the beauty of like the medical field is that you can always go back to it. But yeah,
Right.
I never felt like I got that opportunity that I like worked so hard for. But I still love it. I still love like all things medicine and kind of like tapping into that part of myself. But for right now, it's just kind of been
Oh
put
my
on the back burner. Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like nursing is like that perfect job if you're in the hockey life, because like you said, you can always like, you have that and you can always go back to it if you want to at some point when hockey
Okay.
is over, and it also could kind of make the transition a little bit easier to on you guys kind of, like, navigating back into the real world whenever that time comes.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like that's just, like, in the horizon in a way, like, I'm always looking forward to that and knowing that that's, coming. I never pictured myself staying home with my kids in a good way. I'm
Right.
so grateful to be with them, but I feel like I just, in school never pictured that for myself. So I feel like it's given me almost a little bit of, like, a dream I guess I didn't know that I had because I've been loving, staying home with these 3 and it's been amazing. But yeah, something that I never saw myself doing, but I guess
Mhm.
it showed me something that I needed.
Totally. Do you have 2 boys and a girl, or what's your
So Colette was born first, she's 5, and then we
Okay.
have Cohen is 3 and Crew just is 6 months now. So we're about 2 years apart for all of them, and they've
Okay.
they came fast, yeah.
So I was gonna say because my husband and I, we've been married for 7 years. We just had our 7-year anniversary. So you guys must have got married 2019,
Yeah,
pregnant 2020, because
yeah,
my son's 5, my daughter's 3.
yeah, we're,
When
like,
were
on the same timeline.
I
Yeah,
know. When were your first 2 born?
Coco Colette was 2020, in December, and then we had Cohen in 2023, sorry, I had to think about that, and then, Crew was just born this year in January.
How funny. Okay. I'm just like in my
Yes.
side note, unrelated, but I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my son was November 25th,
Yeah.
and then my daughter 2 years later, December 2nd." So they're like really
They're so
close.
close. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Everyone's always asking, they're like, "Did you do that, like, on purpose that they're all, like, the same?" And I'm like, "No, that's just, like, the way that things happen." But I love
Yeah.
the gap. I feel like Colette, my daughter, she's, like, so helpful, and I feel like it was just, like, perfect?
Yes. Okay, so you had your first 2 in North America, and then we're gonna get into, like, the birth of
Yeah.
for the 3rd because that was obviously a different experience, but
Mhm.
kind of going back to, like, your first, this is gonna be your 3rd season in Switzerland, right?
Yeah. So we played in 2 different cities over there, but, we're gonna be returning to Lausanne, which is where we just finished up last season.
Okay, so what initially made you guys decide to take that move and go overseas?
Yeah. I feel like it was a long time coming. I feel like we had thought about it and then kinda, like, sat with it. He'd been offered, like, for quite a few years to go over there, and it was just never the right timing. But like I said, we had 2 kiddos, and his last season that we played here in North America, we were lucky enough to play in Detroit, which is our hometown. So that was really fun for us and to have family nearby. But we had yeah, it was so fun. But we had Colette in preschool, and I would drop her off every day, and she would just really struggle with like the road trip. She would struggle like not seeing daddy. He was up and down a lot. So he was going to the AHL, which was 2 hours away. So I feel like there was just a lot of lack of structure, I guess you could say, and inconsistencies. And like every day I would take her, every day she would cry, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, am I like the only person that's experiencing this? Like, I can't be the only one. And it was just hard. Like, I feel like Austin really missed out on a lot. Like, he missed her first dance recital. He missed, donuts with dad at school. Like, as so many of us understand, like in the hockey
Mhm.
lifestyle, I feel like you miss a lot of stuff. But I feel like with his inconsistency in his own position being up and down a lot, it was kind of like, what can we do as a family to give us the stability that we craved? I mean, we got married, like I said, in 2019. And we hadn't lived together for like a full season since we got married. Like we were always just like thrown all over, and we just wanted to give them like stability in an unstable situation, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's hard. And it's like, yeah, once you become a mom and you have kids, it kind of like changes the game for what you want your life to look like. Like that might have worked for you guys for a
Yeah.
while. And then it's kind of like, okay, like now this is just becoming very complex,
Yeah.
you know? And
It
go ahead. What were you going to say?
oh, no, it just felt like how do we do it? And it sounds like everyone we would talk to would say like, we're moving to Switzerland, and they would be like, you're so crazy. But we're like, that's like the least crazy thing we could do if we can give our kids like stability. So we'll do
Yeah.
anything for that, you know?
Right. And I was gonna say too, I feel like with him in that position of kind of like being called up and being sent down, like you're so close to, you're trying to create that spot for yourself to be like a permanent. Like obviously the goal is
Mhm.
to be in
Totally.
full time. And then it's like that's kind of a big decision to have to make to be like, okay, I'm gonna, not continue to pursue this right now and make those changes.
Totally. I feel like for him and I too, it was it was always hard to feel consistent within a group because you're just constantly moving as well. Like I feel like we
Mhm.
kind of like existed just in a team of the two of us because we were just like really hanging on to the two of us. Like one day he was here, one day he was there. One day, girls would see me, one day they wouldn't, or vice versa for the guys on the team. So I feel like yeah, it was just like the best decision for us to just choose our family and choose ourselves. And, I feel like we felt in those moments like a lot of fear what we were giving up, but I feel like we just gained so much more. Like we love living over there. We love being together as a family. I feel like, I'm so grateful in a way that his career went the way that it did because we just have such a like beautiful life over there together.
Yes. Yeah. I've been to have you been to Zermatt in Switzerland
That
ever?
is, like, our favorite place. Like, I swear we're gonna go this next summer, when we get back there. But, yeah, we've been every year, and, like, I'm like, "We should probably go somewhere else." He's like, "No, like, this is our
Yeah.
spot, like, we love it so much." It's amazing.
We went there for one of our February breaks and we were obsessed. Just like the no cars and being able to just like it's the cutest and Switzerland is so beautiful and the people are so nice. Yeah, if there's anywhere that you could go like country-wise in Europe if you're able, like I've heard that Switzerland is like the best place to play. So you guys wound up signing over
Mhm.
there. What was that feeling like when you finally decided like we're doing this?
It was so crazy. It was like we were gonna wait for free agency to just see what kind of came our way, and July 1st came, and, after talking to his agents and what he had on the table, we're just like, "Okay, like, this is what we're doing." So we signed July 1st, and then we had to be there. In Europe, they start way earlier by the end of July. And that was actually my birthday's in July as well. So we had planned, or he had planned a 30th birthday for me. We were going to Turks and Caicos. So we were going on vacation, and then we literally had to leave in like 7 days. So I feel like it was just so crazy. Yeah, I don't think we really were like thinking about it. And like looking back now, I'm like, I don't know how we like got all our medicine, like just, got all of our snacks, like got all the necessities to go over to Europe. Like we were just so naive in a way, like how different it could be. But yeah, so we got over there, and I feel like we had a travel day from hell. We got stuck in Frankfurt, of course. So we had to spend the night in all of our luggage was lost, like his hockey bag gone. We had nothing. So then when we got there the next day, this is like 48 hours after we left Detroit, we got to the apartment and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like we can't be staying here. The apartment, everything was great. It was just like, it's a shock at first, you know. I feel like I don't know if anything truly prepares you, even traveling over in Europe, to like unpack your bags and tell yourself like, okay, this is what I signed up for the next, 9 months.
Totally. And had you ever been to Europe prior, like for vacation or anything?
We went on our honeymoon to Greece, but I feel like I said, when you're at a resort and you're just, you're not going to the grocery store, like you're not trying to read a label, you're not trying to drive or, you know, figure out paperwork and mail. It's such a different experience. And I thought I was gonna be, this is like going on vacation. It's not, but I feel like there is so much growth that I've noticed just within myself, like from now to like when we started going over there. I feel like you just gain this confidence in yourself, but also in your ability to just like navigate difficult situations. And I feel like it's just kind of like putting one foot in front of the other. And in a way, I'm really grateful for our kids too, because you're just kind of like leading this little, pack of kids around and you have to, get out and go do things. And you don't really have time to consider like anything else. You just do it, you know?
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I feel like when you're going like through it, it doesn't always feel like you're growing. Like you kind of feel like
No.
this is hard. Why are we doing this? Like I definitely can get in that mindset loop. And I've been there like the first time we got abroad. I was just like, what did we do? Like we both were like that. Like what did we leave to like not even anything major, but just like it's such a change, you know?
It's so different, and I just feel like nothing prepares you for that first season, for me at least. We were in Switzerland, they have 3 different languages that they speak, so it kind of depends, like, what region you're in, but, the first team that we played for was in the German-speaking region. So our first season, we're, like, trying to speak German, and if anyone's been to Switzerland, like, that the Swiss German is just very different than German. And so it has like a really strong dialect. And so we were doing Duolingo and that did not help us at all. And then we ended up signing in a different city, which was in the French region. So they were like, okay, here we go, like a new language, which I feel like I didn't consider at all. I'm like, okay, we're playing in Switzerland, like it's all going to be the same. But I know like for girls going league to league in different countries, like they're experiencing that every time. So I definitely had a little bit of a wake up call just trying to navigate the different, languages and everything.
Totally, and that's funny because we were in Austria and France, so I can relate to the German,
Yeah.
then the switch over to the France and or French, and yeah, your mind has to, like sometimes I would forget almost, like, momentarily, like, the word I'm looking for, like, the language that I'm in, even though I know where I am, but, like, you just
Yeah.
go through so many different languages and
I,
you're
I
like, "Wait, what am I supposed to say here?"
I've definitely walked up to the counter and said like bonjour and I'm like, oh wait, we're like not in this area right now. I need to like go back to my German. But
They're
I
like,
mean,
"Hi."
yeah, they're like, "Okay, what is she trying to say?" Exactly. I That's what I feel like no matter what, when I like go up to someone, they automatically hear me speak and they're like, "Okay, this is what I'm dealing with." So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good, but it's a lot in a good way.
So, so when you first went over there, like, what did you do to prepare yourself to make that transition? Like, what are some things that you did or packed, all of those things that someone might be listening could, like, take from it?
For sure. I think the best thing that I did before we went, I had actually had a couple girlfriends that I was like telling, I know like free agency is coming up, like we're just kind of weighing like what we're going to end up doing here. And so girls that they knew that went over to Switzerland, they connected us together. And I think that that was like the best thing that could have happened for me to just like prepare me to give me confidence that like you can do it and to just kind of like calm my nervous system. I feel like jumping into something like that is it's really different for the guys too. Like the style of hockey is so different than North American hockey. So I feel like you have that to consider. But then like from our standpoint, I feel like, we're the ones that are kind of doing all of the like heavy lifting at home and getting everything in order in that way. So I feel like to just talk to someone that has done it, like anything, if you know someone that's went through something and then you're able to like get information from them, I feel like it just gives you a lot more confidence. And so for anyone that was considering going anywhere, I would just try to connect with someone or to have someone else like connect you together, because I feel like when you know that you're not alone in a situation and that there's someone else doing it, you just have this like belief in yourself, like, okay, if they're doing it, I can do it too. It's,
Mhm.
it's one season, hypothetically, if that's like the contract that you're going for. And you can do anything one time. And if it doesn't work out, like you can always pivot and try something new. But I'm so glad we did it. Like I really can't imagine us staying here and kind of like living that same lifestyle that just felt super chaotic and like not a lot of, what do I want to say?
Yeah,
Stability.
like yeah, stability. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think, like, things can happen in Europe with, like, movement and stuff like that, but it's pretty rare that you hear of that happening, like, especially if they are paying to have, like, an entire family come out, you have
Mhm.
children, like, you're kinda, like, locked in, which is nice because then, especially if you've gone through that movement, you're like, "I don't wanna be doing that in Europe." So, knowing that you have that kind of reassurance that you're gonna be in one place for a season is, like,
Mhm.
it calms you in a way.
Totally. I feel like that was, like, in such a nerve-wracking situation of going over there, that was, like, the one thing that I would just cling to, that, like, I have my family, I have my kids, like, we're gonna be in this one place, like, we're not packing bags, we're not going here and there and just kind of, like, having this chaotic lifestyle. Like, if anything is chaotic on the outside, at least when we are home and, like, together, that's my piece at least, and I
Mhm.
felt like that's what I was just clinging to the entire time. Like, we're doing this together. We're giving our kids like the most amazing memories. Their like scope of the world is incredible. The way that they see things is, I mean, it's amazing to witness and to just watch them see the world through their eyes. So I feel like it's definitely something that kept me going through the fear.
Totally, and it is so true. I feel like it makes them so resilient, and I definitely have said that before, but just witnessing, like, the back and forth and coming home and stuff, like, just seeing how, like I don't know, I feel like your kids become more confident on, like, the changes and going along with things easier because that's kind of all they know, and so it's not,
Um,
like, an uncommon thing to put them in these new
situ-
situations, whatever
yeah,
it is, a
yeah.
team or school or whatever, like, they're just like, "Oh," like, "I've done this before," you know?
We actually came home in April when our season ended, and my daughter, Coco, she'll be going to the same school back in Switzerland in the fall. But in order for us to leave in the middle of the school year, they like required her to continue on, which we were going to do anyway. But we enrolled her in her school back here in Michigan, and her teacher was the director of the program when she was in preschool, and she like had a meeting with me and she was just like, I can't believe the growth that I've seen in her. Like, she is such a different kid in like the best way. And I feel like that was everything for me to know like we're doing the right thing, and it just gives me confidence like moving forward with all the moving parts, or missing family and exposing them to different cultures and languages and just all the things. For like someone in that respect to give me that sort of feedback from her, I was like,
Oh,
okay, we're doing something right. Like, all you
yeah.
need is just like stable home and like mom and dad together for more than a couple nights a month if you can help it. So
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
Yeah, seriously. No, that's amazing. So, one of the questions that people ask all the time is like, "What do I bring abroad? I'm going for the first time." And I don't know if your perspective has changed now going over for the third time, but I feel and I know because I've been in that position too where you're just like,
Mhm.
"Holy shit, like where do I even start?" But you do kinda change your mindset after a while and realize you can get majority of what you need. But if someone were to ask you that going over for the first time, like, what would you tell them that they should absolutely bring with them abroad?
So I feel like you said, like the beginning, I feel like I packed my entire medicine cabinet. I had like every vitamin, everything I could think of. Now I've kind of found, I'm not sponsored by this, but this website or app called iHerb. It's literally like
Oh,
the
yeah.
best thing ever. I feel like I buy everything that's just like comforting for me, for the kids. Like if you need medication, if you need snacks that are just like the kids love. I feel like they've come a long way since we've been going over there too. So they have like new stuff all the time. So I would definitely recommend someone, if you're going over there, see if it will ship to whatever country you're living in. It's amazing. And I feel like it kind of lessens the burden of everything that you need to pack when you're already packing everything you can think of. But I feel like I would really go with your like non-negotiables. If you have something that you just love, like some skincare product that you're not confident you're going to get over there. I love the Ballerina Farms protein powder. So I like pack a couple of those with me. Certain things that are your like just every single day, like I can't live without things. That's what I would prioritize and then kind of go from there. I feel like when you are in that situation, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have like my toothpaste I like, or I'm not going to have my skin moisturizer. I need to bring 5 of them. You're going to find stuff over there that's probably way better quality than you're even going to find like in North America. And it's going to be okay. Like it might not be the same, but I feel like just bringing the things that you know you cannot live without. We love to bring like electrolytes. I feel like they sell some of them, but we just love like Element here. So it really just depends what your like lifestyle is. If you're like super into like fitness, I would bring like stuff like that. Or um, if your kids are like really into something specific that you like absolutely cannot live without. But I think just knowing that there are options for like everything that you use here. Seriously, the pharmacies and the grocery stores are like incredible. Like I
Yeah.
miss them when I'm here
Yeah.
in the US. So I feel like just knowing that would give me some peace of mind that like whatever I really need, if I forget it, if I can't bring every single thing that I want or pack 5 of whatever, like I'm going to be able to get it. It's going to be okay. Hopefully you'll have visitors that will maybe bring a couple things for you, but to just know when you're going there, you'll find it. And people, I hope you'll be on a good team that will be able to help. Like if you need medication for your kiddos or, if something's going on, I feel like asking for help when you're in those situations too can go a long way to just like tell yourself it's going to be okay. Like I'll get what I need. And yeah.
Totally. Nope, I agree. And yeah, like skincare and vitamins, I feel like it's better over there. And like it's more clean. Like what
Mhm.
you're taking is actually like,
Totally. I
not
follow
US.
so many things of like the chemicals and pesticides that they don't allow over in Europe and that they have here. So whenever I'm over there, I'm like, maybe I can't read this label, but I know that it's way cleaner than
Yeah.
something I would get at home. So like I'm buying it. It's it's definitely different, but I promise you that the quality of goods and the options, the availability is like all there. I feel like I was afraid of going to the grocery store and like I wouldn't be able to find anything. There's not like 70 kinds of chips, or there's not like,
Right.
every single kind of bagel that you may want. But I feel like the necessities are there and you'll definitely have like what you need.
Okay, what about a question for you?
Mhm.
Tampons, Switzerland, do they have applicators? Because I always brought them with me. England, they had applicators, but in the other countries, I like never found them. So I'm glad I brought those with me, and that was something I
Yeah.
brought every year unless I was pregnant. But yeah,
Yeah, I actually don't think I ever bought tampons there because, like you, I brought mine, but I know girls would buy them, and I think that they would just have them in their bag, like with no applicator, like it was nothing. I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like that's probably something that I would bring. I'm such a bad person to ask because I like brought them the first year, and then last year I was pregnant and breastfeeding, so
yeah,
haven't needed them. But yeah, I feel like definitely that. But I want to say that if you do buy them over there and you're not like picky, the brands are like super clean from what I've seen. Like when I was getting stuff for postpartum, like everything was like
yeah.
100% organic, like no bleach. And so I feel like in that respect, if you're like more worried about that, I think you would be okay.
You never know, you
Every
know?
country's different. Yes.
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 Is there anything you bring, like, for your kids for holidays that are, like, sentimental to you or, like, pajamas or things like that? Or at this point, are you kind of like, "I'll just figure it out over there once I'm there?"
I do. I still have to get my Christmas pajamas. It's so hard when you're like in the middle of July,
Yeah,
looking for Christmas pajamas. I bring Christmas pajamas. I bring Halloween costumes because my kids are so specific. I feel like you can definitely find the costumes that are like generic at like Zara or H&M Kids. But yeah, I feel like we bring our Halloween costumes. And then I feel like at the end of the season, I'm just so ready to get home and like throwing everything in the bags. I don't bring Christmas stuff because I feel like I'm too sentimental in a way that I like don't want anything to get lost or broken.
Yeah.
So I leave like everything that means something to me at home, but I do like Secret Santa stuff. I like try to bring a bunch of that kind of stuff. Just things that I know they wouldn't be able to have. They love like a Tony box, and so I bring those little characters because they're in English. If you buy them there, they're in German or French.
Okay.
Yeah, so something like that. I don't really feel like I feel like now that I know, I don't really feel like there's something that I'm like bringing that I couldn't get there already.
Okay.
So,
No,
yeah,
that's
I
good.
just Halloween's also like becoming way bigger there. Like every year I've been there, it's more and more. It's just
Yeah.
like fun to see their version of Halloween is like because they think it's like so spooky and they want to like really scare the kids. I'm like, wait, it's actually not like that at all. Like in the US, like we just want some candy.
Right. You're like, let me tell you a thing or two about Halloween.
Yes, yes,
Okay. I have like my brain is like, oh my gosh, I want to ask her about this and this. So,
yes.
what would you say is like the biggest culture shock that you experience? Probably not now since you're getting a little more used to things, but just like at
Mhm.
first that maybe you didn't think would be a thing that was?
I have a funny story. The first time we were in Switzerland, I found a mole and I was immediately like, oh my gosh, like I need to see a dermatologist today. It's really scaring me. My cousin has a friend that's a dermatologist. So I was like sending her pictures and I'm like, please ask your friend, whatever. And so I ended up getting an appointment and it took almost a month. And that's with knowing the team doctor. So that was like weird to me because I feel like here it's pretty easy. But I went to the dermatologist and there's the table inside the office. It's kind of set up like an office, like with a desk and everything. And then there's an exam table. So we were talking about my mole, and it was in an area that I had to like take off my pants. And so they were like, okay, take off your pants. And I'm like, okay. And just sitting there. And he's like, no, like with him in the room. And so I was just sitting there like, okay, you want me to like, you're just going to sit here and watch me like undress basically. And he was like, it was just like, okay, like there's no cover or anything.
Yes.
Um, so I feel like that was like super jarring. I was like, okay, here we go. Like,
There's no
don't mind
nurse in the
me.
room or anything.
No one. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, here I go. I feel like that was so shocking. But now, like after being at the OB so many times, like that's totally how it is. Like they're just like, okay, drop your pants. Like you're ready to go. There's no privacy, I guess. And so I've gotten used to that more now, but I feel like I would call myself more of like I don't know how you say it, like private person. So that was just like very like different to me.
You know, in your 3rd trimester when they do, like, the strep test with,
Oh
like,
yeah.
that I did that in, like, the most random, like, office room with a guy that was, like, my age or younger, and same thing happened, and I've been down that road before, so like, knew it was coming, but we just went in the room, he's like, "Okay, like, drop your trousers," and I'm like, "Eh," and I'm like, "Do it."
Like,
At this point, I'm so pregnant, I'm like, "Who even cares?" But
yeah.
he just, like, takes out the little thing, and I put my feet in the stir like, doesn't leave the room and just does the little
Totally.
thing, and I'm like, "'Kay," like, sweating, like,
Yes, yes,
just
I feel like you get up and you're like, "Is this okay? This is a puddle underneath me." I feel like that was probably it happened to me in the first month of us being there, so I feel like I was still getting used to, like my kids had just started sleeping through the night after the jet lag, like, we just got settled, and then I was like, "Oh my god, like, this is different." But I feel like for the most part, I'm really lucky. I feel like the places that we've been in Switzerland have felt pretty easy to navigate in a way. Like a
yeah.
lot of people have spoken English in the cities that we've been living in, so that's been helpful.
Was that a shock for you guys?
Oh my God. If you knew Austin, he is like wants our house at 60 degrees all year
In the
round.
office here.
Like he sleeps like a bear. And the first time we got into our apartment, he was like, no, no, no. Like, where's the air conditioning looking for? And I'm like, I don't think that they have it. So we contacted the team and they're like laughing at us, like, air conditioning, that makes you sick. Like, why would you want that? So then we quickly learned, like, okay, we need to go get air conditioners. We ended up getting a second one this last season. So we have one for our room and for like the living area. And I feel like they've been having so many heat waves. And so we're just
Mm.
kind of like bracing ourselves right now for it. I'm definitely not prepared.
When'd you leave?
We leave the 25th. So we have like
My gosh.
under a month now. Yeah, we're like in the packing stages and I'm starting our closet just looks like a mess with
Okay.
piles of what I'm bringing, what I'm staying. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's one thing I feel like time and time again, like, I never got used to was how early the European hockey season starts because
Mhm.
especially if you've been in, like, North American leagues for a while and then, like, they don't start till October, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're leaving, like, 3.5 months before that, and then probably most of your friends at this point are, like, still or, like, in the hockey life, don't start for another 3 months, and
It's
even that can make you feel a little bit, like, removed from, like, the
I
you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, "Wow," like, I'm just, like, in a completely different realm at this moment.
totally. I feel like that is something that takes a little bit getting used to. I feel like it feels nice at the end of the season when you're like, "Oh, we're done," and like you're still seeing hockey on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is really hard. Like I feel like we signed our kids up for camp and like they're gonna do half of it and you're just like signing them up for the entire thing. So there's things like that that is hard mentally preparing yourself to like leave midsummer. But we're really lucky. I feel like our city that we're in Switzerland, Lausanne, is right on Lake Geneva. So when we get there, it feels like you're really enjoying like a nice Swiss summer too.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful that that is like where we're at right now.
Yeah. So in Switzerland, I heard that they only take like a couple of imports per team. Obviously, that league is very competitive, and so it is hard to get into. But how has that been for you in terms of like making friends, having a community, like moving so far from home? Like, has that been like have you been lucky in that sense, or has it been difficult?
Like my first year, we were so nervous because we were the only North Americans on the team. There was no like
Mm.
Canadians, no staff, no like there was just no one. So it was kind of us. And we were just walking into something like we didn't really have anything to go off of. But I actually met one of my best friends. I feel like I'm so lucky. She's Swedish, but I feel like she lived here in the US playing in the NHL for like 10 years.
Okay.
So I joke with her and I say that she's more American than me. Like she goes all out for the 4th of July, for Halloween, for Christmas. Like she's so fun. So I kind of learned everything that I know from her, like just how to like navigate being in Switzerland. So I was really lucky to have her. And then switching teams, it was hard. I feel like this last season, just because we had gotten settled and then like moving again. But I've really always met like a great group of girls. I feel like everyone's kind of in the same boat. It's just a little bit more like you said, it's competitive. So there's not as many options for like imports of what you would have available. But even in that, like I've met so many amazing Swiss girls too. I feel like they've been so welcoming and we've been really lucky to be on two like amazing teams with like amazing girls from the team. And I think the biggest thing can be the language barrier in a way if like girls don't speak English. And I think that that's probably for anyone. But this past season, like I know there was a little bit of a language barrier, but I feel like we just really tried to make an effort and like get girls together. And even if you weren't able to really speak, just to like be out socially doing something with other girls and like knowing that you're all in the same boat in a way, it just feels good. Like you just feel like you're a part of something. And I feel like, especially Austin and I, like being in that up and downs position, it just feels nice to be like solid in a group and be able to like see girls at the game every single week. And like, even if it's just like a simple, like saying hi and waving, like you just feel like you're a part of something. And I think that that goes a long way.
Totally, and yeah, it's like even, like, those little moments of just being able to have, like, small talk with people
Yeah.
can seriously make your day so much better. Because there are some days that feel lonely and you, like, don't see people for a few days, so just, like,
Mhm.
having the, familiar faces where you can have it doesn't have to be, like, these deep conversations, but just a little something where someone recognizes you or
Yeah.
can share something just so basic can
Yeah.
really change, like, your day.
Totally. We've been really lucky too to have like a lot of kids on our team. So I feel like even if you're
Mhm.
not able to like really and talk, like you kind of feel like you're all in the same boat and like everyone's just a little chaotic. I think that yeah, I think that that definitely helps just knowing that you're like in a community and like I said, we've had good luck with like a lot of really nice people. So even if we're not all like speaking the same language, I feel like everyone has had the same idea of just like
Yeah.
being together.
Totally. On those days that feel, like, lonely or you're feeling homesick, how do
Mhm.
you like, what do you do for yourself, or how do you kinda get through that or cope with that?
Yeah. I think it's all I would say it's probably different every time. I feel like sometimes when I miss home, I just try to call family and friends and just try to like
Mhm.
catch up and just like remind myself like they're still there, I'm still here, like we're still connected. But I think that the time change makes that really difficult sometimes. Like when I'm feeding my kids dinner, everyone's over here making lunch or like out at work. So that can be a little bit difficult. But I feel like if I don't have the opportunity to talk with someone, especially in like the morning hours when you're over there because everyone's sleeping here, I try to
Mhm.
just like listen to a podcast or listen to music that I feel like is just my favorite that just kind of makes me feel like grounded or go to a workout. Just try to carve out like a little bit of time for myself and just like remind myself of like why we're there. And even in those moments too, I try to tell myself that this is temporary, like this isn't forever.
Mhm.
And I know when you're in the thick of it though, it's like so hard. You feel like it's just like never ending and you're ready to go home. But something I always like try to tell myself, even if I don't believe it, is like if I need to, I can just get on a plane and I'll be home tomorrow. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like just
Yeah.
reminds yourself that like I'm here right now and this is hard, but it's not permanent. And if I really need to go, like the opportunity is then you go, you know?
Right. Like, there are options, and
Yeah.
I think you can forget that sometimes because you feel so far
Oh,
away. You're like, "Oh my
totally.
gosh, the thought of getting on a plane with the kids," but, like,
Yeah.
if you really needed to, you have
Yeah.
that option for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this past season, it was really nice too. The little community that we were living in Lausanne had like a ton of expats. And so there was just a lot of English speaking like moms at my daughter's
Oh,
school. And so
good.
that I think was really nice. And it almost reminded me too, because Switzerland is just kind of this melting pot of the world. I feel like there's people from everywhere, but they were all kind of doing the same thing as me, like obviously not in the hockey realm, but like everyone was kind of missing home. And I feel like when you remind yourself that like I'm not the only one in this situation and like other people are also like displaced from a comfort of theirs,
Yes.
like you can kind of like collectively do that together. And I think that that's like in any setting, like if you find at least one person to kind of like latch on to that feels, you know, safe to you that you can talk to that about, I think just like letting it out and just saying like I'm having a hard day, like I'm missing home right now, and like finding some way that you can like connect to that source of comfort like goes a long way.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, and I know you've also shared about losing your mom and the grief journey that's kind of come with that, and I just wanted to ask you about that if you're comfortable sharing it.
yeah,
Being so far and what that has looked like for you kind of going through that process as a family and personally, with
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, for sure. I feel like I lost my mom. It will be 5 years ago this August. So it was really hard actually in the beginning.
You
It
just
was
had your
August.
dog.
So my daughter was 6 months old.
Mm.
It was August 16th. And so the season was starting in like 2 weeks. And we were signed with the Islanders at that time. So my mom passed and it was like the most excruciating thing, but Austin had to go. And I decided what was best for me and Colette was to stay home and to be with my dad and my sister. And I think that that was probably like the loneliest time I ever felt in hockey because I feel like there's so many amazing things about like this lifestyle that like bring you together, but I never felt so isolated because I just didn't know anyone else like going through that while like just being displaced from your family, not having your husband around, not having help with, you know, your kiddos, and then just trying to like navigate this huge loss. So we spent that season apart, and that was like probably our hardest season ever. He actually got picked up on waivers, so he was everywhere, and it was super hard. But that's kind of why we decided like we would love to sign somewhere close to home, and we got lucky enough to sign in Detroit. But yeah, I feel like losing her has kind of it's been just this thing in my life that I will carry with me forever. And I feel like I try to bring her with me everywhere we go, like every city. I just try to like remind myself that she's always with me. And I I talk about her so much with my kids. I try to like make her a part of their life to where they feel like she is a part of them. We talk about her all the time. Like I talk about memories with her. We bring her picture everywhere. Like I feel like when my mom first passed, I was so upset because I was just like, please just come to me in a dream or something. Like I need to know you're okay. Like I just need to hear from you. And I just had this recurrent dream. I was finding ladybugs everywhere. Like I would just like walk in my house and like pick them up. And I was just like so annoyed because I'm like, what is this? And then it like started really happening to me in real life where I would just like be giving Colette a bath in December and a ladybug would be like floating in the water. Or we were at Disneyland Paris this past year and we were inside like a breakfast restaurant and all of a sudden there's like a little ladybug like crawling on the flower in the middle of the table. So I feel like she's definitely like shown me that she's with me. And
Mhm.
I know she would be like so happy that we've done what we've done by going over to Switzerland and being together as a family. Cause I think that that was something that she just like always capitalized on and like preached was to be like taking care of one another and to just be a family. So I know it's like the hardest thing in the world being away from the people you love. But I think that the way that you like bring them into your life, whether they're here or not, I think it's so important and it's really easy to do as long as you're like dedicated to doing that, you know?
Yeah. I'm so sorry, and thank you for sharing that. I know that's not easy to talk about, I'm sure. And, for people that might be, like, going through it in this hockey life,
Mhm.
because the hockey life does not just stop, like you said, your husband's, like, not even in the same place with you, like, he's moving all around, probably hard for him to be present with you in
Of
person
course.
while you're going through this. You have a new baby, and then you have, another kid a couple years later.
Mhm.
What would you say to someone that is kind of in the thick of it, maybe going through a similar experience while trying to navigate just kind of the lack of stability that is in this lifestyle? Like, if you have any advice for anybody?
Yeah, I would definitely like if I could go back and tell myself something, it would to just be like to be easier on yourself and to really like it's so hard, especially like I was by myself, but like really carving out time for yourself to like just do what feels good in that moment. Like the best thing that ever happened to me with losing my mom was like starting to see a therapist. And I feel like that just helped give me so much like peace and confidence and just like learning more about myself. I feel like that was so pivotal in my healing. But I think that like when you go through grief and loss, I think that it's really hard sometimes for people to want to ask or want to open up because they're afraid of like making you sad or like hurting your feelings. But, like, the only thing that that does is make you sit with your, like, pain and your sadness alone and
Mhm.
isolate you. So I think if there is someone going through something similar, I would ask you to just really surround yourself with, like, safe people that love you and that will always be there for you. And I know that that's not always easy when you are in this lifestyle and you're, meeting new friends or you're trying to socialize while, like, really hurting inside. I just think if you can find, like, one person to really, like, cling to and to go to, that is so helpful because it's so unfortunate, but the only guarantee like in life is that we will all like inevitably face something like this. And I think when you think about that, like how would you want someone to treat you? I just think that it's so powerful to like extend yourself if you know someone that's maybe like facing a hard situation or you know, just ask. Like, I think talking about things that are hard, it's never going to be comfortable, but you don't know the comfort that you will offer to someone by just like making yourself step like a little bit outside of your own comfort
Yeah.
zone to like check on them. I think that that is so powerful. And I think, there's been like so much tragedy just like in the hockey community. And I think when you think about it, like you pray it never happens, but like you just never know like what can happen. And I think just like thinking how would you want someone to like be there for you or treat you, I think it like goes such a long way. Cause I think the biggest thing that it takes is just like empathy, just saying like, how are you? Like, is there anything that I can like do or help you with? I think just showing up for people and being just like there and available and like, yeah.
Yeah. Making yourself a place where someone can talk about it if they are
Mhm.
having a hard time or a hard day,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
being able to being away from home too and just having, like, even one person that you
Yeah.
feel like you can speak about this with or, can come over and hang out with you on a day that's difficult.
Yeah, totally. And I think that like people think that it's just like you're just like in a room like crying and you're sad like and that's not it. Like sometimes you just like want to talk about them and like to be someone on the receiving end where like someone gives you a place that you're able to talk about the person that you love and like share something about them. Like that is such a gift to that person. And so like I think anytime I have the opportunity to like share anything about my mom, it like gives me peace and it keeps her alive in my heart and it allows me to like share her with others. And I think that like you never know how special that is to the person that's maybe going through something to just say like what was their favorite food or Like, do you have a funny story that you can like share with them about me? Because it brings them alive and it's healing to the person. It really helps.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing about that. I want to transition as well to, because I know I want to be like mindful of your time because I know you have 3 littles.
Oh no.
To do a birth story in
Yes.
Switzerland and what that was like. Because obviously you had your 2 babies in North America, then you
Yeah.
have your 3rd in Switzerland. How was that experience for you giving birth in a foreign country?
So I found out I was pregnant like right when we got home from Switzerland from our first season over there. And I was like terrified. I was like, how are we going to have 3 kids in Europe? Like the car, the travel, like I have 2 hands. I was terrified. And I immediately said, like, okay, I need to fly home and have the baby here. Like I cannot have the baby over there. Obviously, that did not happen. I was lucky enough to have both of my kids in Detroit, like just by the timing of things. So I felt like I never had like a baby that wasn't familiar to me. So this was my first time in this lifestyle. And then doing it over there, I was just so scared. But I feel bad saying this. I don't know if I would want to have another baby over here again. Like we're definitely done, but it was so wonderful. Like we just had the best experience from like start to finish. I feel like my doctor was so patient and like so just thorough with everything. I feel like he really took the time to like look at things if I was, wondering about something. The care was exceptional. It was definitely hard, I feel like, with the language barrier when I was like working with nurses or like just other medical people. But I actually had a planned C-section. And then the day before my planned C-section,
Oh, I think I knew this because I was looking at your profile. I'm like, I think she had a C-section. So,
yeah, both
okay.
of my first 2 were breech, and so then naturally I had to have the 3rd as a C-section,
Yeah.
especially over there. But my water broke in the middle of the night. Like Austin had just gotten home from a game, and like 30 minutes later, I stood up and I was like, my stomach's hurting so bad right now. My water never broke before because I had 2 C-sections. So I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna go take a shower, and then I stood up and I was like, yeah, like this just happened. So he did not sleep at all. And we were like going to the hospital. And this is the most Swiss thing ever. My doctor was up in the mountains skiing for Christmas. And so we had to get him off the mountain to get him to the OR. But
Wait, what happens when you have a scheduled C-section and your water breaks before then?
I think that in the US, I know they would consider that like an emergency C-section. It wasn't. I actually got to the hospital and I had this male nurse. He was great, but he was like, I'm just going to check you. And I don't know if there was a language barrier there, but he checked me and he was like, oh, your water's broken. And I was like, sir, that's why I'm here. So he was like, I call the doctor now. I call him now. So yeah, we got my doctor in probably like 2 hours. He was, I think, at like a ski town, maybe like an hour and a half away. So he must have like really hustled, but it was probably like 4 in the morning and he was probably so pissed. But yeah, everything worked out so well. Like he showed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it was I've heard that from Switzerland. Like, I feel like overall, I don't know if I've heard, and if you're listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I really haven't heard of like any negative birth stories in Switzerland. I heard it's like the top tier kind of care that you can get in Europe.
It was like something I've never seen. We were literally served like our breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a silver platter. Our room had a door that you could go outside and just look at the lake. It was insane. I feel like they wanted me to stay for a week, and I was like, oh no, like I've only been at the hospital for like 36 hours with both of my other kids in the US. And so when I was like trying to leave on the 5th day, they were like, you're leaving against medical advice. Like you need to rest. And I was like, this is like the longest I've ever been in the hospital for any of my kids. Like I need to go.
They keep you so long there. Like, I had to stay 5 days with both of my kids, and I was about to like bust out of those doors at the end. Like,
Yes.
I cannot be in here anymore. I'm going
No.
to go mental.
Yes. And I feel like I don't know how it was for you, but like the care is a little bit more hands off, which I didn't mind being a 3rd time mom. Like,
Yeah.
I've done it, but I could see it being a little bit of a learning curve because almost felt like you were staying at a hotel versus like a hospital in a way. Like I feel like I wouldn't really see someone all day and they would just like come at the shift change and just introduce yourself to the new nurse that was going to be on for the next shift, and then you wouldn't really see them. So it was great. Like I loved it, but I could
Yeah.
see it being a little bit intimidating for like a new mom, especially if you're like breastfeeding and having a little bit of trouble, or if you did have a C-section and just like getting up and kind of like moving around.
Yeah.
And
So
I have heard that from other people too.
so you just had to call them basically if you needed something, like page
Yeah.
them. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah. Speaking of like your mom, did you feel her like with you through that journey, like being in Switzerland?
Totally. It's so funny, like, talking about the ladybugs, they have, like, ladybugs on so many packages there from, like, something at the grocery store or, like, I don't know if it's a European thing, but, like, for New Year's, they, like, always in the grocery store have, like, little ladybugs candles for, like, good luck or whatever. So I feel like I definitely find her over there all the time through those. But, yeah, just through my pregnancy, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there was just this, like, piece of everything just kind of like came together in a really organic, natural way. I feel like I had the best care and I feel like the team really like took good care of me. And
Good.
I always like think when I find those like good things in my life that I feel like it's my mom's just like protection watching over me during the birth, or like I guess right after I gave birth, like the sun was just like shining in our room so much. It was like I mean, it was a January day, but it was, like, hot, but the sunrise was, like, the most beautiful sunrise, and I just felt like it was her, like, wrapping her arms, like, around Crew and around Austin and I, and Austin does, like, such a good job of bringing her into our life, like, every day too. I feel like anytime the kids are going to bed, like, he'll always say, like, "Nana's watching over you, like, Nana loves you," and I'm so lucky to have him because I feel like that support has like gotten me through some of the hardest days. So yeah, he
That's
definitely like really tries to bring her into our life as much as I do.
so special. Did the team set up all of, maybe for someone that's listening that is giving birth abroad, did the team set up like the whole doctors for you? Did you find that on your own? Like, what did that process look like?
So because we were new to the team, I didn't know like how it would be, but right when we found out we were pregnant, the lady from the team was probably like the first person outside of Austin and I that knew like we were gonna have a third. We called her immediately because he was like, Rachel's freaking out. Like, she doesn't know. Like, do you have doctor drawer recommendations? Like, what hospital? And it's kind of confusing in Switzerland. They do have a lot of different options. They have like private, they have public. Some doctors only deliver in the private, some doctors only deliver in the public. So I feel like you have a lot of options. And like looking back, that's like a good thing to have a lot of different options. But to me, in those moments, it felt really overwhelming
Yeah.
because it's just like, just tell me what to do and I'll show up and I'll be there,
Right.
you know? But I feel like, yeah, there is a ton of options. I feel like you're not locked into anything. And the team did help me navigate that a lot, which we have like a wonderful team service lady there that is so lovely and is just a great deal of help. But she got me my OB. And then from there, I like booked the hospital based on where I wanted to give birth. And then they have like midwives that come and visit you after you give birth for, I think she was there for like 8 weeks and just so incredible. It was like, I just think of like giving birth here. I wish that everyone had that sort of like postpartum care because I think that it truly like talking about not having my mom, like having that level of support was just incredible. And it felt like you were definitely like thought of and someone was considering you and like you're just as important as the baby. And so I think if you're giving birth over in Europe, like having that midwife is huge. And I feel like that is definitely something lacking over here, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree. They definitely like want you to feel supported and cared for, which is like you said, so important obviously because
Yeah.
there's so much emphasis on like the baby and making, everybody's always like all about the baby, but
Yes.
the mom is also important and just, doing those checks and you had a C-section, so making sure like that was all good and everything
Mhm.
is yeah,
Mhm.
crucial. Okay, I'm trying to think if I have any more. I'm just gonna look at my notes here if there's any more questions on. I don't think so. On is there anything else you want to share about giving birth abroad that you think would be helpful or useful to people? It's okay if not.
No, I feel like nothing really. I feel like it's pretty much the same as like postpartum care here. Like I feel like you can get like all of your basic needs, but if not, I think I ordered like just because I wanted the ones that I had here. Like you can order everything on that iHerb and that's like super helpful. But I packed like I bought like the pajamas that I really love here. I bought like my robe, like certain things that I feel like just feel like really cozy and comforting in postpartum. It's kind of like the same as like when you're thinking of packing for Europe, like what are you bringing? I would definitely, if you're giving birth abroad, like find those things that are like non-negotiables for you that just feel like really comforting and just give you this sense of just that you have everything you need. I feel like you can definitely get it over there, but I think just like having the things that really make you feel like safe and settled at home, like you're taking care of your baby and you have those things, anything that makes you feel like cozy and comfortable, I would bring from home just so you know that that's like at your hand.
Yeah. No, so true. And I've seen like posts. Are you in the Facebook group? Like the
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, or I've also gotten messages like, "I'm having my first baby in Europe, like, what do I need to bring?" And I feel like it's just very, like, different per country too. So, like, if
totally.
anybody that is listening, like, don't and I've said this time and time again, like, don't be afraid to be creepy. Like, look at past rosters. If
Yeah.
there's girls that you know have given birth abroad, like, if you find someone on social media, like, when I see someone post, like, "I'm giving birth in Graz, Austria for the first time," like and I'm like,
Message
"Message me." Like,
me.
I would
Yeah.
love to tell you, like, who my doctor was,
Mm.
who I met with that I did not really care for, who I want like, the midwives, like,
Yeah.
we that's, like, the nice part about this community is I feel like, good or bad, like, we wanna, like, give that advice to people so that they can be most supported in that experience, so it's just very specific per country and not so much of, like, a Europe thing, if
Yeah,
that
like,
makes sense.
yeah, I feel like that is, like, the best advice. I feel like if you see someone, it's only gonna benefit you and give you the peace of mind. Like, no one would ever be like, "Why are they reaching out?" Like, I'm sure that they would have loved that help if they had the opportunity. So, like, definitely if anyone was ever, giving birth or had any, like, specific questions, like, message me. I'm an open book.
Yes, I love that. And then wanted to end on this note. I ask this every episode and I love it because everyone is so different. But if you could give advice to anybody that's thinking about making the move abroad, Switzerland, wherever it may be, like what would you tell them?
Honestly, just explicitly do it. I think it was the best thing for our family. Like I said earlier, you can just sign up for something for one season, and if you hate it, like, you never have to do it again. I don't think that you will. I think that there's so many amazing, like, experiences to be had and just, like, life lessons. I think it really bonds you and your husband together. I think it really bonds, like, you and your kids as just this family unit together. I feel like we're gonna have these memories forever, and the kids are gonna look back and talk on, like, all the places that they saw and all the experiences that they had and have just, like, the most magical version of their childhood. It's so scary, but just do it. Like, I think I think knowing that you're not alone and there's other people like going through that same experience and having those same like what if feelings, I think it's better to like look back on something and say like I'm glad I tried rather than like what if I had done that.
Mhm. I love that. Thank you. And if anybody wants to like follow you on social media, follow your journey, if that is something that I don't know if your
Yeah.
page is private or not, where can they find you?
Yeah. My Instagram is just at Rachael.Czarnik. And I would love to help anyone with any questions or just connect if they're thinking of going over to Switzerland.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and just sharing all of your knowledge from going abroad. And just before that, it was so nice chatting with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.